Hey guys, it's Shannon and welcome back to another Onision deep dive. After 10 plus years of being a genuinely creepy person who displays narcissistic tendencies, as well as a habit to prey on young females below the age of consent, we are finally seeing companies like Patreon actually take a stand against him and mainstream media finally reacting to his business and what he is doing. It has taken quite a long time, and one of the reasons it's happening now is because of you guys. Because so many people refuse to stay silent on the fact that Onision is a predator, and because so many people have dedicated themselves to showing companies and creators how absolutely sick this man is, the world at large started to take notice. If it wasn't for so many people speaking out against him, he would have never been brought to Chris Hansen's attention, and therefore Chris wouldn't have been able to bring it to the FBI's attention, and without a journalist putting his name on the case, it is likely that mainstream news coverage of the situation also wouldn't be happening. But that all started with you guys. So before we dive into this, I just want to say thank you to all of you and ask all of you to give yourselves a pat on the back because you fully and utterly deserve it. Also, before anyone comments down below about me saying Onision's name wrong and saying, oh, it's Onision, I just want to clarify that there's a video from way back that I had to watch while doing a deep dive for another video, and in the video he talked at length about how much he hates when people get his name wrong, despite it being a made-up word that means nothing. In fact, in the video he had a goddamn actual breakdown about it and was seemingly genuinely pissed off. So because this is a man I do not like and I want to piss him off further, I make the active choice to say the name that he made up for himself that doesn't exist in the English language wrong because it makes him mad. It pisses him off, and pissing him off brings me a little bit of joy. If that fact bothers you, that I get the name of a man who is a narcissist wrong on purpose because I want to bring his ego down just a little teeny tiny bit, then I am completely fine with that. But now you know why I do it. So anyone who asks on this video why I say his name wrong, I'll just link you to this timestamp. Also, this is editing Shannon, back at it again with a last minute edit. So I had this video ready to go last week, and then The Right Opinion made his video, which was going to be a 2 or 3 parter on Onision's former religion and just Onision himself, and I was like, damn, there is 3 weeks of my life looking up this stuff and writing this down and taking notes all completely down the drain because The Right Opinion just makes fantastic content through and through. There's no way I could compete with him for anything. Like, fantastic creator. I don't know why he follows me on Twitter, but he's amazing. So I posted about it over on Twitter, and I asked you guys if you would still want the video, and I was like, I'm about to throw this all away, and you guys encouraged me to continue and make it anyway. So that is what I'm doing. If it feels like reductive, I completely understand. Just know at no point am I trying to swipe The Right Opinion, at no point am I trying to, steal his thunder. I wrote this before his video. I just, great minds think alike. Maybe, kind of, sort of, probably not. I accidentally came up with an idea that someone who creates amazing content also came up with. It's bound to happen. I am a moron. But with all that said and done, let's get into this video. Today we are going to be talking about Siseska, which is the religion that Onision created. Now, if you are new to the world of Onision and only know about the mental abuse and the physical abuse and all the bullshit that he puts his partners through and all the predatory behavior, then you might be shocked to hear that this raging narcissist who believes himself to be better than most basic human beings once created a religion that he believes to be the one true religion. Because every time you think this guy is bad and has hit the limit, he just manages to get worse. However, what Onision did in terms of his religion and the act of making his own religion based off his own belief system isn't completely and entirely out of left field. There have been many a man who has come before Greg Jackson who has either perverted the teachings of scripture to benefit themselves or made up their own religion in order to feel their lives have meaning. Just off the top of my head, men who have done this are men like Jim Jones, Charles Mansfield, Marshall Applewhite. Although if I'm being factual, Marshall Applewhite co-founded the cult and ran it with Bonnie Lou Nettles, who was the true leader of the cult until her untimely death. But that is neither here nor there. What's important to note here is despite Greg feeling like he's a true original and he has the true religion, he is not the first person to start a religion based off his own tremendous ego and his observations and need to be the center of attention. But according to his own testimony, he was in fact the youngest. You see, according to Gregory Jackson, he founded the religion Siseska all the way back in 1997 when he was 11 years old. You remember being 11, right? You know that age where you're fully a child and have yet to go through puberty or even articulate your thoughts in a well-meaning, proper manner. I mean, at age 11, I guarantee you that the most I had to offer in terms of academic or religious discussion was the fact that I could do a somersault. Barely. Just remember everything you were doing at age 11 and just know that Gregory Jackson, the Onion Lord himself, was out out here creating a religion based off his life experiences because he is simply that smart, that observant, and that much better than you. In his mind, at least. In reality, where the rest of us choose to live, he was just an ego-driven toad at the age of 11. Good for him. He was handpicked by some deity or some alien to be the bearer of this unwanted knowledge. He was a prophet of Siseska, and boy, did he do a bad job at being a prophet. Now, because this was a religion or a cult made in the 90s and he wanted it to spread like butter on toast, that toast being the world at large and the butter being his religion, he decided he would have to make a website for his religion, which, I mean, of course you would. If I were going to make a religion, the first thing I would do is make a website. And to make my website, I would use Squarespace, which is sponsoring this video. Totally kidding. Could you imagine if like Squarespace actually like that? That'd be ridiculous. Oh my god. Also, Squarespace is on the record for not wanting to work with me because I say fuck too much, which I get it. My mom is disappointed in me also. Anyhow, he made this website at the age of 17, all about Siseska and the belief system that's surrounding it. And unfortunately, because he's a bitch-ass coward, the site no longer exists the moment he got criticized for it. If you try to go to siseska.com, all you will be greeted with is a site fishing for your information and asking you to log into Facebook or Twitter, which is not great. However, both lifeofonion.com and oniondrama.tumblr.com have an astounding record of what the site had on when it was up, including emails he had sent out about the religion and how he attempted to get followers for the religion, which involved spamming philosophy message boards with his bullshit, pretending to just be a follower of this brand new religion who simply wanted more people to check it out. So, of the many things to add to the reason why Onision is the scummiest YouTuber list, you could put pretend prophet and liar there. He essentially did the thing of trying to convert people who were simply just trying to have a nice normal conversation about philosophy and jack himself off by talking about how dope he is in the third person, which is wonderful and totally not annoying and totally not transparent. But I am getting ahead of myself because there is so much more to this story than the origin. In fact, because this is a deep dive, we are going full in and talking about what exactly this religion believed and read some of the texts that Onision himself claimed millions of people around the world believed in. And we are going to discuss how stupid this all is, because don't worry, it is just as stupid, if not more stupid, than you could imagine. Now, I'm going to get into every piece of this religion and its beliefs, which, if you are wondering, does include aliens. So, if at any time you want to skip to a certain part of the video, I am going to try to remember to leave timestamps down below. And if I forget to do that, please do call me out in the comments. This video is going to be incredibly long. I have 15 pages of notes written out, and those are just notes that I am going to go off of and not a script, so it's quite a bit. So I hope you guys bear with me on this. So let's start where all good things start, at the beginning. Welcome to Siseska. First off, before the site was taken down, this is what the front page of the Siseska website looked like, and this is what was written on it. Welcome viewers of Siseska. The literary documents provided on this site introduce and evaluate an amazing reality which is now finding homes in millions of information-hungry minds all over the earth. For the recorded years of humanity, one of the many questions before our intrigued minds has revolved around the most important topic of all subjects. What is existence for? How do we exist? Side note, do you guys listen to The Used? You know that song, Take It Away? This just reminds me of the beginning of it. It's just so hokey and stale and weird. There's no oomph to it. It's how to start a cult email for dummies. There's just simply no pizzazz. I also do appreciate the fact that 17-year-old Gregory was sitting alone in his bedroom writing this instead of hanging out with his fellow humans and trying to play it off like millions of people were into this religion. Millions of people thought he had something here, because that makes sense. Siseska has become the answer to the vital questions concerning our lives through logical yet amazing fact involving the past and present world. Those capable of understanding Siseska and the perspectives provided will find the key so many have been searching for. Today you have the opportunity to observe an alternate mentality, a path divided from the default standards involving simple beliefs that have convinced most all one time or another. I just want to ask if anyone else is noticing that he's Rick and Mortying the reader into thinking that only people with 250 plus IQ can understand this religion. Literally, his wording is already super manipulative because he can't help himself. He's just that type of guy. But he's saying those capable of understanding Siseska will find the key. That is just a way for him to deflect criticism of this bullshit teenage religion by saying anyone who criticizes it simply doesn't get it. Oh, you don't like my religion? It's just because you're not smart enough to grasp how intelligent I am. Oh, you don't like that I prey on young fans constantly and put young women in terrible situations and seclude them from their family? It's because I'm too smart for your frail, feeble mind. It's incredibly manipulative and nasty, which is not surprising for a religion that he made, but I still thought I should point that out. Existence is a seemingly complicated subject that so few have neared a proper conclusion to define beyond mere presence of time. Diversions throughout methods involving excuses such as downing human capabilities are often given freely to avoid confrontation of the reality at hand. We have the ability to explain ourselves, and here you will find out how true this statement really is. That statement doesn't make any sense. I didn't understand it, and I had to read it multiple times. You have entered a new section of human comprehension. Those seeking a meaningful answer to settle what no system of beliefs has before will continue on through the pages our work has to offer. All others visiting us today will continue their lives devoid of rare perspectives. The choice is yours. Continue. So like I said before, this is the douchiest, most Rick and Morty-ish r/I am very smart entry page to any religion ever. It's like the religion in and of itself is negging you, telling you that you'd be prettier if you lost weight, but he will still sleep with you if your prettier friend doesn't want to. It's absolutely ridiculous and stupid, and it's like a young, ridiculous, stupid-ass 17-year-old Greg read one of those pickup artist books about how to approach women and said, cool, I'll make my entire religion about this. And you know what? He did. He definitely did that. Like you guys can see on this title page, which looks like the graphic in the background is of Gallifreyan, which is the language that the Time Lords use in Doctor Who, that there are a couple side sections that we are going to explore today. Those side sections are The Answers, Inexplicables, Social Ethic, and Siseska.com. Within those subsections, there are pages like The Meaning of Life, Human Origin, Our Purpose, Outside World, Human Potential, The Afterlife, Behavior, Sexuality, Health, and so on. We're not going to be going into the so on because that's just community stuff, but yes, we are going to go through all of the other points, point by point, because that is what I'm going to do today and tomorrow and this whole week, because this is going to take forever to edit and I love to suffer. If there is any singular point that interests you in the list that I just read, like I said earlier, I'm going to leave timestamps down below so that you can take yourself to the point in the video where those things are talked about. I am going into this thinking that sexuality and behavior are going to be interesting reads. Those are the ones I'm interested in seeing, basically because he has a proclivity for being predatory to young women and behaves like a rabid moron. So again, if one of those things interests you more than the other, go to that one linked below. So let's start at entry number 1. From the center of our Earth dwells a major power which keeps humanity in play while living out the lifespan remaining for its future. Proper respects are rarely given to our humble life source. Like plants, water, and the soil we walk on, we once came. The Earth once produced chemicals devising and manipulating the pre-human body to near perfection in order to create advanced creatures to one day defend our Earth's very life. Unlike the apparent failure of other planets, our Earth created both soil and body to serve it with its free will, while having our own individual lives to advance ourselves. While being the sons and daughters of the world we live in, good nature towards others manifests also as a contribution to our planet, in a small or large portion. On all continents, different races and species were created based on the world's different habitats, and being created by different sections of one life form came different life form appearances, or even alternative species. Since the time of birth, humans have created languages, cultures, and furthermore, mentalities which as time passes separates many from Earth while focusing more on self. Nearer the first births of human came a greater sense of respect for our planet as we relied on it, while we in return gave it a sense of value beyond other planets. Assumingly destined to mutually contribute, the Earth continued to support our lives in significant portions. Since then, our planet has still not given up on us, as we are not yet failures of the cause. One of the realities existence offers is to exist. That doesn't mean fucking anything. Those who have the ability to create life oftentimes take up the opportunity with honor and appreciation, just as the Earth had. Originally, the Earth created various different types of living and non-living form. Many of them we have not yet seen, as they are buried below depth, beyond the reptiles we call dinosaurs. After experimentation and learning, the Earth created advanced species before a more advanced species due to the trials given to the now fallen life forms. Today exists a number of those species which dwell among us, none of them powerful enough to eliminate the most advanced, human. Some creatures were created to supply food for the seemingly superior species, which were in result intended to mutually contribute to our Earth. Yet, in result, much destruction and pointless death has come of our free will. While humans are the most advanced creatures in the living world today, we are never meant to end the lives of any other creature unless we could fully dispose of the physical bodies of the creatures or plants slain for real survival's benefit. All creatures on this earth have a purpose, regardless of the fact that humans remain one of the most intriguing and baffling creatures among all others. So this religion needs you to be a vegetarian. It's a fact. If you're not a vegetarian, you're not Sinseskin. A common nature of living creatures, which can comprehend communication of any time, is to advance themselves and those of similar kind. This is why fish swim in pack. This is why predators take the lives of others for food and pack. Fish often stay together for survival, while predators, often more so, weak alone, recognize power in numbers, just as non-predators with a contrary defense motivation. With this said, you can also look towards humanity, more complicated creatures with similar mentalities. We human beings create security systems, alarm clocks, helplines, and many more sources of assistance which help keep our survival intact, while also making our less vital aspects of life healthy. Now, with what was stated, our Earth has made us to keep itself alive, and we must fulfill such purpose. First things first, there was a lot of word salad in that. He misspelled a bunch of words. He spelled buried like berries, like the food, as if berries was a verb, but alright. I thought this was going to be real religious text that means something, full of allegory, full of whatever, to really bury my dick in and be challenged mentally, but I don't know. I feel like I'm losing my mind slowly but surely. Basically, this whole thing is just the ramblings of a vegetarian who jerks off to himself in front of the mirror. The only purpose of this is to jack off to the idea of being human and that you're better than everyone else, and to inflate the ego of every other human being in the world. You know, humans are just so cool and special and amazing, and you're just the most advanced person on the planet, and the planet actually really wants you to think that, which somewhat is true. It's really cool to think about life that way, and that makes you feel really good and important. It makes you feel less good to remember all those embarrassing moments, like how you farted 4 minutes ago and you're still wafting in it. Like, you can make anything sound cool if you zoom out far enough. But he is just psyching up every person reading this with a bunch of garbage that means nothing about how the world made humans, and we're so advanced that we created all this advanced technology. Apparently the peak of human civilization is the fact that we have alarm clocks, which is fine. Every other invention since the alarm clock is just bullshit, I guess, and not as good. So suck it, everyone who has invented anything ever. Also, what the fuck is with the planet shit he talked about? He started talking at one point about the failure of other planets and how planets were supposed to create life and keep themselves alive, and every other planet has failed. And like, what the Heckelstiltskin is going on with that? Like, what is he even trying to state here? That life alone is the center of purpose for each and every planet, and the planets were created to make life, and if they didn't create life, they're a failure and they die. Like, if a planet doesn't have life, it's not purpose. I don't know. I know how this ends because I've done research into it, and I know it gets into alien crap, but like at the beginning, my note right here when I read it was, is this going to turn into an alien cult? And yes it does. But again, ultra vegetarian Greg has come to battle because he literally breaks off from the narrative that says we need to protect life, the earth created us, the earth wants us to do this, to go on a diatribe about how we don't need to eat meat and we shouldn't eat any living things anymore. Unless we can eat all of it, we shouldn't eat any of it. And I don't know. It's all vague hullabaloo that makes no sense and is stupid. It feels really unintelligent to the point where I have multiple takes of me reading the sentences incorrectly because my brain wanted to fill in the blanks and make it sound better and make it sound more digestible, and I couldn't do it. Like, I had to read it as is, and now I have a headache. And I want to remind you, this is something that, according to Greg himself, he believes in. He made videos on this on his Onision Speaks channel, and this is something that he, an adult, put his stamp of approval on. This is something that he, a human person, said, absolutely put my name on this, I believe this. And with that, let's go to the next part. In the previous sections, there have been discussions as to the purpose of humans to exist, the logic behind Sinseskin belief in the meaning of life. This purpose was said to work towards advancements to the human civilization to the point in which we were able to protect the mother of our species, Earth. Beyond this, what is there? Why are we here? In the Sinseskin way of life, one can easily find out that the logistics involves little shades of black and white, but rather a world of color with many depths and many realities that you specifically can choose to follow, while in the process being rather accurate to the genuine truth revolving around our lives. We are indeed destined to serve and protect our earth when it needs us most. However, with emotions such as love, satisfaction, and pride, we are to satisfy self, which in the end can help create greater strengths in the fight for our survival. Above yet, besides these objectives, comes a tremendously unexplored realm which we humans fortunately have the ability to partake in, the Divant realm. First off, the beginning of that sentence was above yet beside. What the fuck is above yet beside? That's wrong. I'm also going to take a small break here and go over why all of this is trash, not just the above yet beside bit. First off, he talks about how in previous sections there have been discussions. Absolutely no, there has not been. I read the title page. There was no other sections beyond that. So a discussion has not happened, because a discussion or a conversation involves a back and forth or a two-way exchange of information. If I am talking to you guys through this video, this is not a discussion. It's me talking to you. I can't respond to you if you start talking to the screen. However, if you comment and I comment back, that could be classified as a discussion. He is trying to make it seem like, oh yeah, we talked about all of that already. You read that first page. We discussed it. You're on board. It's all peaches and cream. And now that the purpose of human life has been explained at capacity and you're on board, which we already did, don't worry about it. You're on board the Looney Express. Now it can really get down to the down and dirty, which is why he's throwing out weird vocab words and weird concepts like there being a Divant realm, and we're just all supposed to be like, ah yes, Divant, that thing none of us have ever heard of. So let's read on and figure out what this is all about. Due to various violent and conflicting religions strongly supported in the common community today, we fear what most call evil. We believe all the creatures which we cannot touch or feel with a physical object are either entirely corrupted or good. There is no central point. There is no belief in the afterlife being a pleasant place without a higher power to protect what need not be protected due to true yet unexplored self-sufficiency, and the powers of our earth gave our forefathers from the beginning of our existence. Oh god. So much of this is bullshit, I can't even tell if I'm reading it properly. The next step that needs to be taken in human advancement towards the protection of our world is the very realm which other religions have made us feared. Some call it the fourth dimension, others describe it with words such as astral plane. We all have the ability to eliminate the negativity that can consume our lives through mere drunkenness or suicidal emotion, because we are of living human essence, and in our abilities far exceed those with little to no physical world ability or experiences. Those equipped with the right knowledge/will can travel into the unseen world of Divant to assist the Sivantes or Sivants in forcing away the Zodin that at times consumes their post-physical realm existences. Sure, okay. By controlling and exploring the Divant, we can also eliminate physical realm threats, such as bioweapon construction, murders, and many more crime-related activities. Our human shells provide an energy which feeds and supports our spirits while supplying them with a greater potential than any Zodin could ever desire. Oh my god. So Onision, this man, this human creature, wants you to take the astral plane and wants you to astral project yourself into the sunken place to defeat all the bad people or demons, which he calls Zodin. That's what he just threw at all of us. He just was like, we're deep diving. I'm just throwing a bunch of dumbass words at you. Fine. At least with the cult that is Scientology. You pay millions of dollars and have to be fully indoctrinated into that religion before they tell you what they believe to be true, which is that you are made of little tiny aliens that were shot out of a volcano on a different planet. That you are made of all these little aliens and they work you up to that point. Like, you're indoctrinated, your family's indoctrinated, you have to believe it because you want to stay with your family. But not Onision. No. He's going to tell you right here, right now, that he wants to take you to the Divant, which is the unseen realm, to assist the Sivants and hurt some Zodins. And he's not going to describe what any of those words really mean. He's just going to tell you that's what you're going to do. And you're supposed to put on your little helmet and your little racing vest and just go do it with him. And the most basic of breakdowns of this religion that I had to write out a couple different ways after reading that a couple different times. For all the people who don't have a million IQ, the Divant realm is an unseen realm where spirits live, kind of like heaven. It's pretty much heaven for dummies, that needs to be protected, and the human essence can protect it because we're so much smarter than everyone else. And Zodins are people with bad energy or evil creatures, or essentially demons. Think of them as demons. And we need to protect the Divant from from the demons, and savantes, or savant, I don't know how to pronounce it because it's not a real word, are people or angels who protect the different. I don't know. I think it's basically like demons and angels and what have you. To me, how I have to break it down as a little baby bitch girl is it's a game of capture the flag. You want to protect the flag, which is the different realm, which is an unseen realm that you just kind of have to trust is there because you do. And you want to work with the savants or savantes. I don't know how to say it because it's not a real word, and they're on your team, and you're against the Zodins, who are mean, negative demons. So it's angels versus demons and capture the flag on a different realm. We don't fully know anything about any of these people. We don't know what the difference is. We don't know how he came up with the name. He's only given us context clues, and we're just supposed to be like, oh, cool, into it, fine, great. Again, Scientology at least makes you give up livelihood and give up so much stuff to the point where when you hear that, you're just like, sure, I'll believe anything you tell me at this point. This guy is the guy who kissed Shane Dawson once. So, I don't know. Next part. The truth about other worlds. Our planet is not the only massive life form with the ability to produce smaller, less capable creatures. Amazing amount of alien abductions and studies have been reported by oftentimes healthy and logical human beings. These abductions are most often for pure studies by species in ways more advanced than us. At times of the abduction reports are merely in reality night terrors, otherwise known as sleep paralysis. Yet when actual events do occur, the aliens seek out what not many have been able to comprehend completely. These studies are reaching for a goal in search of what many outsiders fail to understand. Our Earth produces unseen energies to live with our organic bodies, while outsiders are much like the simplest of our brethren animals, while also having the ability none of us are able to grasp, to learn and remember for hundreds of years as their lifespan exceeds the common physical human span 4 times. This fact is also an aspect of considering why they have advanced sooner than humans have. First off, there's no way to obtain this knowledge. Like, none. There's no way he could possibly know this, because even if he said, well, I was abducted as a child, which his literature straight up says, if he was to say, well, I know this because the aliens told me this, what he just said is the aliens take people to test on people. The aliens don't communicate. Most, things I've read about alien abduction, because I have read about alien abduction, most people cannot communicate back with the aliens. Most people, it's not like a two-way conversation. It's not like you show me yours, I'll show you mine type of deal. So he has no basis for saying this unless he wants us to now just check in and be like, yes, aliens, good to go. Devant Realm, into it. Zodins, cool. Sivants, absolutely. Aliens, totally. Oh my god. I'm really not trying to stop every time he says something stupid and add my commentary, because already I've been recording for an hour, but I'd just like to take a couple moments to talk about how in this religion, according to these sacred deleted texts, apparently Kendall Jenner has been abducted by aliens. She was abducted and tested by aliens. And that is just something that has happened and will continue to happen, and that's fine. We're just supposed to accept that that is what happens, and that's totally cool and fine and normal in this religion. The planets some aliens are able to travel from, oftentimes, in perspective, are less compliant with the laws of positive and negative. We have not heard about these laws. We do not know about these laws. This religion just throws things at you, and it's like, this is a thing now, and you're like, why? And it doesn't tell you why. In lacking a derivative realm for corrupted specimens to dwell, as many planets cannot rid themselves of everything they create. Our Earth banned the negative project it could not destroy to the different, however. Some tend to break through human psyche during our weakest points, which is oftentimes where corrupted human beings come from, the unseen world among us. The corrupted individual's vibes spread outwards, while attracting other Zodin due to unseen energies. So basically, according to Greg, corrupted people are failing vibe checks and attracting Zodins to the Earth because of their terrible negative vibes. This is a religion written by TikTok. In this, uncorrupted bodies are approached with seemingly demonic situations, such as haunted houses and other evil encounters. Because the Earth is unable to eliminate the unseen Zodin, another shade of color, as mentioned, lies before us as to why humans were created with soul, intellect, and body. In relation to alien encounters comes an attitude much like the Zodins. We still don't know what Zodins are officially. He hasn't explained it to us. What they have in common with the Zodins is that they also lack the emotion we humans are able to admit and experience regularly. This causes highly curious questions among those who visit us, and is only one of the motivations behind such visits. Our planet, unlike so many others, is/was advanced and pure enough to come to the rightful conclusion as to how it would be able to eliminate or silence the negative once created by those not deemed fit enough to occupy a human body. Sadly, the Divant would only be exposed to the Zodan to prevent them from unleashing and destroying all hope of our planet's survival in the physical world. Yet even with this near solution, we must recognize how incomplete it really is, and as stated, we humans have the solution. Once we obtain the ability to pass through as a soul in current ownership of a body, we will have the ability to rid the planet of the negative energies which drain and consume the Divant. In this, we will unleash a new power, helping us defend our planet and its creatures from unwelcome studies by alternating the physical world via the Divant, giving outsiders no choice but to leave our livelihood alone. This cannot easily be done with the Zodans feeding off weak human energy, making themselves more resistant and strong in between our regions of life. None of that makes a lick of sense. As is seemingly obvious. Oh, of course, it's so obvious. Yes, thank you for your obvious solution. I can't wait for this. The Zodans do manage to break through the Divant to alter the physical realm as their desires see fit. Considering how powerful human souls are in comparison to the body-absent Zodans in both the physical and metaphysical world, we are more powerful and have more potential to express such strength than any other in the Divant. This is why, no matter how advanced technology becomes in other worlds, our planet will remain a wondrous energy to be observed and respected. For this video, I have had to read through this religious text, through all of these multiple times, and I cannot, for the life of me, tell you what is happening. So Zodans are creatures or people who failed the vibe check and want to fuck with the Divant. Cool. They don't have bodies, but if a human person is negative enough, they can become a Zodan, or the Zodan will corrupt them, and then they're no longer deemed fit to live, and then the earth will be like, bye bitch, and like say no. The Divant is a realm that's completely unseen, and completely unheard of, and unknown, and not there, but it is there, and it attracts aliens because we're the best at it, and the aliens also have a Divant, but they're not as good at it, and the Divant attracts aliens to us, but it's kind of like the afterlife. But no, this is Onision's creation, so it's totally different and original as fuck. And he isn't like other cult leaders. He's quirky, and you're gonna have a meet cute with him at a Starbucks. So Zodans don't have bodies, they're just energy, I guess, and they want to fuck with the Divant. But we, the people who have souls and spirits, are intellectually capable of understanding this religion, which there are only a few of us who are intellectually capable. Remember that. Anyone below a 2 IQ, absolutely not. This religion wants to have us, the smart ones, transcend to the Divant and protect it and unleash the power of the Divant on the world. But also, aliens are attracted to us, and they study us because we have emotion, and even more so, vegetarians. I cannot even guess why this religion didn't catch on. Like, that makes absolutely positively no sense to me. This is very clearly a work of genius. Inside most all humans dwells an amazing force which has abilities beyond what many have ever imagined. Our human shells also have abilities when occupied by a soul. All beings radiate what's called an aura. All beings have a past from ages our memories commonly fail to tell. Our strengths can grow with practice, not with time. That doesn't make fucking sense. No matter how many bodies one occupies through reincarnation, strength of the soul does not increase until knowledge of one's power is noted. All of that was absolute fucking nonsense. Some say humans have the ability to fly without wings or technology. This is not true, nor is the idea that we are able to lift buildings without proper assistance from those in the Divant. However, all of the rightfully occupied bodies have the ability to create a protector for their souls that can be seen in the metaphysical realm. So if you do have assistance from the Divant, you can fly and lift buildings, but only then when you're one with a Divant. Sure, okay. These protectors will keep away all unwelcome guests of the Divant, even Savantes, if such a desire is necessary. We still haven't, like, what the fuck is that? You haven't described who's good, who's bad, why they're good, why they're bad. I just need a dictionary, dude. Or like, God, there's so many issues with this. The protectors are reflections of self within a strengthened image to assist efficiency in keeping away negative vibes, along with the two classes dwelling in the Divant. These are highly highly effective for a universally pure life if used in the right manner. So basically, this religion has a Horcrux, or a guardian angel, or a spirit animal, or you get it. Basically what I'm trying to instill in you right now, what I'm trying to get across is what he's talking about in terms of religion is highly reductive. And also, it's fairly fucking stupid that in his religion you can conjure up a friggin' fairy godmother. Like, wonderful. I can make this random thing that I cannot see nor hear that stops Zodins and Sivants from talking to me and protect me from failing my vibe checks, which I don't know what they're for. None of this makes sense. I'm reading this all in order of how it happens on the site. I'm reading the things that were on the site. None of this was explained. None of this was explained. So if you're sitting here asking me, Shannon, why aren't you understanding this? It's because none of it was explained. I'm reading his words and it makes no sense. No sense at all. For those who feel more so strengthened than their peers in the soul spectrum, a source of fire/light seen in the divot can develop within one of the central points of energy, the chest or the cranium, rapidly making its way outward to radiate light/flame, pushing all energies of any kind away. In such situation, imagination and persistence is key. You must create the light or fire within yourself and force it out with such power, much like the sun. But if that's only happening in the divot realm, and we can't see the divot realm, how the fuck do we know it's happening? Because we can't go to the divot realm. You haven't taught us how to do that. Oh my god. I might need to take a break because this is a lot. Another method of protecting one's body from and/or invasion is to write symbols on walls surrounding the area in which you stay most often. Only if you believe in these symbols will the proper energies be kept out. Otherwise, the time will be spent wasted, as a deflective box or circle would not be present in your mind. And with little to no metaphysical structural integrity, the walls may crumble. So, if you want to pass your vibe check and you want to keep the Zodins out, you can put symbols around you. We haven't seen the symbols, we don't know what they are, to protect you. But you have to 100% believe the symbols will protect you. Because if there's even an area of doubt in your mind, there's a little baby doubt in your mind, they won't work. So only if you really, truly believe this is gonna work, will it work. If you have any reasonable doubts or just think, I don't know, maybe this will help, maybe it won't, it won't. It's like what they tell you before you take a placebo. Like, you have to believe this works 100%. Oh god. Such occurrences should be avoided, and another member of the same faith should be grouped to assist in protection. This tactic is exactly like the reference before regarding animals in pack. Remember that reference that he made about predators and non-predators being in pack? Remember that? That's a callback. He's a phenomenal writer. These abilities were given to us to fight off those of the divot who were never meant to find their way into the physical realm. Many people need not create a protector, a safe room, or an energy field around themselves for anything below standard protection, as we all were created with such a field of energy. Oh, so that was all a waste of time. We don't need to do that, but sometimes you need to do that. And if you need to do it, you need to believe in it 100%. You also need to get your friend to believe in it 100%. That way, two of you can do it because pack. Great. Logical. Love it. However, these will not keep the strongest of the Zodins or corrupted Sivants. What the fuck is a corrupted Sivant? We've never heard of that. We don't even know what a Sivant is. You hadn't explained it to us. God damn it. Okay, this will not keep the strongest of Zodins or corrupted savants from hurting innocent humans as they have in the past. Sources? Cited knowledge? No. Okay. Knowledge often does lead to power, and with that you have become your own sanctuary of peace and protection. Without willpower, passion, and ambition, however, this is near impossible. Great. Love that for me. When humans die, the way we lived our lives will determine whether or not we ever occupy a human body again. Those who are able to stay pure in the divot and in the physical realm are given the opportunity to find a home in a developing body. Exception and measures are taken to save some savants by giving the savant a body which counters their behavior in the past life, or in the divot. Such examples of this are oftentimes those who have spent their lives hurting others emotionally due to lack of compassion will find themselves in an abusive relationship only through this turn being on the receiving end at an age or mindset which does not allow them to contradict or counter fairly. Another example of such learning experience would be to handicap/disable a person who would pick on those physically weaker than themselves, giving them a new perspective or even astonishing realization that would change them forever. So good news, everyone. If you are in an abusive relationship or preyed upon or hurt in any way, shape, or form, it is because you were a terrible person in your past life. So basically, everyone listening, all the impressionable young people, Onision's religion is victim blaming you. If you were abused, hit at any point, it's because you did that first, and it's your fault, basically. Also, if you're handicapped any way, shape, or form, it's because you're also a bad person and you did it to someone else before, and this is, I guess, the Divins way of fucking you up. Jesus Christ. I almost cannot believe that he wrote this down. I mean, I know he's a piece of shit, but the fact that this is something he actually believed to the point where he wrote this down, to the point where he was telling people this on message boards and he was preaching this, nope. Electric chair. Goodbye. This is such bullshit. Imagine looking at like an abuse victim and being like, well, you know, you probably had this I just fucking can't. Upon death, a choice is made. When we can occupy our new bodies, our memory is to be wiped from all subconscious and the soul. Contrary, we have the option to dwell in the Devant for a short while, possibly choosing to watch over our families and friends until we are ready to move past the life lived until the next death. Some delusions are made about the afterlife regarding speaking to the dead. Not all those who believe they are communicating with the dead truly are, and in that are rather speaking to themselves. What the fuck is actually happening here? So basically, when you die, you go to heaven, and then you wait for everyone you love to die before you come back to Earth as a new person, but you can only be a person if you were super good. However, if you were super bad, you have to be a person who is abused in some way, shape, or form. Or if you hurt someone who was physically weaker than you, you have to be disabled in some way, because again, if you're a bad person, that's of course what would happen to you. It's not like disabled people or people who go through things are just people who go through things. I cannot believe it. Psychics are just talking to themselves, but sometimes they can actually commune with the dead, but sometimes they actually can't. So there's no way to differentiate what happens and when that happened. Great. This is somewhat like those who believe they are talking to a higher power or making conversation with a recently passed relatives when they had already chosen a new body. This, however, does not discredit all assumptions of the presence a loved one may have. Continue on to discover more in regard. That sentence makes no sense. Our physical minds are powerful enough to create alternate personalities as we see fit. Whether or not we realize that they are split personalities is entirely up to the creator of the regarded communication. And in this, an astonishing amount of us seems to drain away our days into doomed hopes and improbable dreams. Much like this, those who believe they are speaking to those in the Divin can find themselves sadly mistaken when they encounter conflictions with accuracy and plausibility. The truth beside all savant/human interactions is that we are best connected with them through unexpressed aspects of emotion. Presence is more often than not genuine when detected among stronger vibes we sense on an occasional basis. If one is to feel someone next to them only to look at them and see nothing, this does not mean only air dwells before them, but rather a savant or a Zodin stands before them. That makes no sense. So sometimes psychics are lying, and sometimes when you feel like you're talking to a dead loved one, you're actually just talking to yourself, but your mind is so powerful you don't notice that you're talking to yourself. But sometimes you do know you're talking to yourself because it's up to the creator, right? But sometimes if you do feel like you're talking to someone else, you're talking to a savant, which I guess at this point is confirmed just to be an angel, or a Zodin, which is just confirmed to be a demon at this point. But oh god, I am slowly but surely losing my mind. I need another break. I'll be right back. And I'm back on my bullshit, back on this video, back to tackle this next topic. We're almost done. I'm down to page 11 of my notes, so great. I'm also positive this totally won't be gross and vile and manipulative, despite the fact that everything else has been, and that I'm tired. Woo! Let's get this started. Behavioral guidance. In society today, we find a large amount of conflicting belief systems, cultures, and general opinions regarding various topics. We live in a society. One of the major problems we find in society is pressure to use religion as a role in government, non-private schools, and various other organizations originally intended to stay absent from any belief system. Considering our past and present, Siseskans encourage all followers and associates to only express beliefs in Siseska if it is first requested by peers. In no way do we wish Siseskan to pressure or discomfort those who are not ready for this system of beliefs. So, despite being the one to write this garbage, Onision, Gregory, the founder of this religion, broke his own damn core tenet of this religion when he went to different discussion forums to try to promote it, and posted shit about himself and his phony baloney religion in hopes to get more people interested in it. He broke his own core belief system multiple times, and even made videos about it, which would go against his own core belief. Like, really, dude? Really? I mean, personally, I think it's funny of how much of a failure he is at being a cult leader and how he can't even do this right. Like, he can't even adhere to his own rules that he made himself. It's an F for effort, man. We are not a group that should be obsessed over, but rather we are messengers of the truth, unlike groups relying on faith. Okay, no, false. Absolutely false. Like, I'm not even gonna say sorry. Like, that is just a falsehood. Spreading falsehoods here. You cannot tell me that this religion, which explained absolutely none of its belief, did not explain Zodins, did not explain Divant, did not explain Savants, like, has nothing explained. And this garbage that I just spent the past couple hours reading out into this microphone and a whole 3 weeks researching and compiling, you cannot say what you have said over the entirety of this website doesn't involve a leap of faith or a belief in something that people can't see or prove. Because that's what faith is. Faith is having a belief system in something that you cannot see or prove. It's just being like, I think this because I think it, and I don't need it to be proved to me. You made up words, you made up entities, you made up realms, you decided that there are completely unseen planes of existence, and somehow, at some point, aliens are involved, and all alien abductions are real. But we are all just supposed to accept that message as true because we have the IQ to accept it. But if anyone doesn't, they don't have the IQ to accept it, and they're critical of it because they're dumb. Whereas anything else from other religions is false and incorrect and is a message of falsehood, while this is a message of truth. Get out of my house. Seriously. Vacate my premises, Greg, because you are a bigger dipshit than I once believed you to be. Because that utterly no sense. You cannot say other groups rely on faith while presenting an argument that relies leaps of faith consistently. Because not only do I have to believe in the Divant and the Savants and the Zodins, I have to believe in the aliens encounters, and I have to believe every alien encounter, not to mention sleep paralysis demons, are all aliens. These are things that you said. You cannot be like, oh, it's all truth and it doesn't require faith. Yes, it does, you fucking moron. Our recognized reality has a main purpose to respect the earth we live on, as it is the creator of our lives. And in that, we realize the service that we are meant to one day provide. Attempts to contact, temporarily pass into, or otherwise connect with the Divant are discouraged if alone. As emphasized before, there is power in numbers, but when alone, the experiences can become most unpleasant, considering the first entrance of the Divant has a respectable chance of containing negative entities nearby. To expand your mind and the minds of others by informing others of your experiences should be the main objective. When one mocks, attacks, or disturbs the Zodin, or even the Savants, negative recoil is likely to occur. Because of this, and by the ethics encouraged by Siseska, a respectful attitude when handling the world of Divant is strongly encouraged. So, if anyone mocks this religion, negative recoil will occur, which will make me fail my vibe check, which will make me a Zodin. Cool. What you do with your life is up to your mind to draw out. If you truly believe in Sisescan reality, your objective in life will be to live happy, to make progress, and consider the possibilities available for our Earth, to do what it takes to save our planet's ecosystem, and to make a difference for the better of Earth and humanity, and most of all, to live free of shackles society has to offer. So, if you want to live a life of happiness, you need to believe in Siseska, and I guess a life of happiness for Greg, who is the ultimate Sisescan, involves Chris Hansen coming to his house, pissing himself on camera, and being investigated by the FBI, which I do not know about you, does not sound super appealing to me, doesn't sound like a happy life, but sure, fine, okay. So this next part is entitled Perspective on Sexuality, which I am not looking forward to based on Onision's habit of preying on women who are below the legal age. I feel very strongly like this part is going to somehow validate it all, and that kind of worries me, but I've put on my mental helmet. I'm preparing myself for this part, so let's get this over with. People of our history have proven to demote the value of the female gender countless times due to one major factor, physical strength. However, a contrary conclusion is held clear in our way of life. Humans were created in two classes, male and female, one to complement the other and mutually so. However, in making this attempt for companionship, the free will of ego and the common male's desire for dominance came into play. Appreciation of the complexities a woman must go through in order to produce a new physical body are not respected as much as strength in the current world are by masses. If you support both genders, we appreciate both parties for their strengths and weaknesses. Not all people are created equal, yet, by opinion, opposing sexes are beside one another, just as they often are in life and love. Onision quote of the day for today, whatever day this uploads: not all people are created equal. Not all people are created equal. Holy shit, that is a tenet of what he believes. A major issue that has been seen around the world for thousands of years, both in the home and the public, is those who choose to find love with the same sex instead of opposing. By perspective of many unsympathetic citizens and even major authority figures, this way of life is seen to be a cancer in societies all over the world. Siseska, however, has no concern of sexual preference. Our focus is just the conservation of the earth and those dwelling on it. Looking over this, all humans with a desire to help are welcomed to our cause. Okay, so luckily with that out of the way, none of it is inherently predatory. And this was actually the smallest section of the site, didn't do anything to say, also there should be no legal age at consent. I'm happy it didn't say that. I'm happy there's nothing here that goes back to like predatory Onision. What I didn't like, however, was the fact that he stated all people are not created equal, because that makes me want to ask, okay, Greg, James, Onision, whatever you're calling yourself tomorrow, who do you think is actually beneath you? Who do you fundamentally think is below you in terms of status and personhood? It's such a gross question to have to ask because it leads to classism, elitism, ableism, racism, and all those really fun topics. He seems to have an idea that physical strength is really important. He states that numerous times, so it makes me think that people who are not as physically strong or capable as he is, he believes are beneath him. It does not surprise me because he is a complete, total, gross asshole pig, but it grosses me out. Now, this topic is the last, and it's categorized as physical health, and so to celebrate getting to the last part and this topic, let's just...
This is my vegetarian body! Ah! This is my body!
Perfect, there we are. Now on to the rest. As we are to keep this world healthy, we are also meant to keep ourselves in the best condition possible. By overeating, spreading disease, expressing unnecessary rage, and many more corrupt activities, you as an individual make our planet less livable. It is said that those who hate life also despise themselves, and in disliking self, appreciation of all others / things becomes much more complicated. Onision says, if you have depression, you hate the world and therefore are unworthy to be alive in the eyes of his religion. Also, being angry, eating more than him, a guy online, thinks you should, and having any sort of disease that is spreadable, punishable by death, punishable by not being in Siseska anymore, punishable by being a Zodin, I guess. He is seriously out here with this religion, fat shaming, and I guess flu shaming. I've never seen a religion do that, ever. I really haven't. Jesus Christ. To make sure your life is a healthy one, you should take part, oh my god, are you kidding? In regular dentists, doctors, and psychiatric visitations, however often as advised. Those who keep themselves in the right mind and body will find a greater sense of worth, confidence, overall use of the advancement of society. So, obviously, this is a modern religion, one made by Greg, but I find the fact that he's out here preaching one of the core tenets of his religion and telling people that they have to go to the doctor and the dentist and psychiatrists and take modern medicine and all that as part of his religion. I find that to be outstandingly funny. Like, you cannot be a part of his religion unless you do those things, some of which did not exist at the dawn of time when this religion supposedly first started, when this really came about, because this all happened with humans became perfect, the different realm was created, the Zodins were created, the savants were created, but they couldn't practice that back. It's just what were the cavemen supposed to do in order to keep up the ideals of Siseska? What was supposed to happen to them? It's just funny that religious texts are telling people literally go to the dentist. I have never heard of that in my life. When people see each other failing in life, unhealthy, ungroomed, and unhappy, the vibes sent out often turn dramatic. Cool. I missed vibe checks. I really did. I'm so glad we're back to that. Thank God. Those who fail to care about themselves are in so many ways hurting everyone else in their lives, whether it be through smoking, insulting themselves, or any other method of degrade. Don't ever give up on life. Know that there is hope that you will one day be a person of peace and bliss if you truly look for it in others and in yourself. We cannot serve the greater cause if we are unhealthy. We are on this planet to prove what we can do for it and everyone else living on it. We are intended to be the light in the dark, none other but us. If you have ever been seeking a higher power to guide your way, all you have to do is look in the mirror, and there you will find your past, present, and future. What you are is an amazing creation unlike no other. Respect that fact and become what you are meant to be. Okay, so that is about it for the attack of Seseska, and honestly, that's all I can handle. I'm going to be making a follow-up to this video later, just going over everything, talking to you guys about it, responding to your comments from this video, because this has gone on for extremely long time, and editing this is going to be quite the slut. Quite the fucking slut. She is going to be so annoying, and I'm gonna have to deal with it. So I hope you guys don't mind if there is a part 2 to this video. I'm sorry, I hate doing part 2s because no one ever watches the second part, but let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Let me know your favorite and least favorite part of this religion. I personally think it's funny that this religion literally involves vibe check, aliens, and of course forcing people to go to the dentist just so they can be apart. Because what modern day religion would be complete without that? Without any of that. Like, we need aliens. More aliens in religion. More aliens in religion. I hope you guys had an outstanding day. If you guys made it to this part of the video, thank you so much for hanging in there. It means the world to me. Leave one of these guys in the comments down below so I know you made it, and I will see you in my next video. Later.